And salutations, Serjavians! It is Serjay Svek back with another stream, and I hope everybody is doing well today. And we are live with a very quick guerrilla stream. I know it might have taken some of you by surprise, but I wanted to try and do this because I wanted to get it out of my system. So for those of you who do recall, I do have a new keyboard that arrived finally yesterday, so we're gonna go ahead and just do some talking here and there, and then we're also going to fix it up and configure it so it can actually use it just the way that I like it. So thanks again everybody for choosing to drop by. If you are here live or whether you're going to be watching the VOD, I hope that you all take care and that you all stay safe, and I hope that this stream will bring a little more color to your day. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh no! Oh my goodness! It's me! You can see my flesh! Goodness gracious. Well, do not be afraid, my friends. This is only here for this time only. Yes, after a very long time, I'm gonna be doing a hand cam stream, once again. So, we're gonna be, just, before we get to the configuring of the keyboard itself, I just wanted to show off my current keyboard selection, and also the reason why I decided to get this keyboard specifically. And I just want to apologize in advance for the terrible cable management. I know cable management is not my strong suit. But I hope that you'll be able to forgive me, because we're not going to be looking at it for way too long. Now, because before I used to have a microphone on a boom arm, and while that did free up my desk mat, unfortunately I had a tendency to hit the microphone with my right arm if I tended to gesture. So I don't want to do that anymore. I just wanted to have the microphone right in front of me. And hopefully you'll be able to hear me. And so while we're doing that, let's just go ahead and play some tunes. There we go. There we go. Now, just lower it on my end. Yeah, there we go. So, we'll have some music playing while we're gonna go ahead and do our configuring. Now, I have quite a few keyboards here, so let's just do a bit of show and tell before we get to the configuring, like I mentioned. So why choose a smaller keyboard? Well, let's start with this big baby over here. So this one is your Royal Clutch RK100. This is the closest keyboard that I can find to a regular full-sized keyboard. Full-sized meaning because it has your letters, it has your number row, and it has your function row on top of that, and it also has your arrow keys and your numpad at the right. So let's just imagine that I put this here on my desk mat right now. Okay. So the thing is, there's barely any space that I can use to move my mouse, and that caused a bit of a problem because that ended up making me have to stretch my right arm just to be able to move my mouse around. And then I realized that most of the time, because I'm a writer, or at least I try to write, most of the time I'm stuck here on the left side of the board, and it's pretty cramped. I don't really use the numpad side that much, so I could probably just chop it off. So that's why I decided to get into a smaller keyboard instead. I'm not using that RK100 anymore, by the way. It's with someone else in the family. They're very fortunate because I have a lot of spare keyboards that I'm not using. So if you don't know a lot about me, I tend to go into extremes. So the next logical step for me was to go from a full size like the RK100, or at least as close to a full size as the RK100, to something like this. So this is the Pabile P42, 40% keyboard. Let me try to fix the zoom here, so focus here. So you'll be able to see it better. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, as a 40% keyboard, you're missing out on a lot. You don't have any numbers, you don't have any functions, you don't even have arrow keys, you don't have your home, delete, insert, and all of those other keys that you might need. And if you compare the size with that of the RK100, look at how much smaller it is in comparison. I can actually fit that inside my pocket. And just to make it a little easier to visualize, so this is so if you look here at the P42, this is how big the P42 is next to a 100 Philippine peso. Barely much bigger. So you could probably fit this into your bag, no problem. And if you put this on your desk, look at how much space I have. If I'm a gamer, I would have no problem moving this around. The problem is, if you're playing competitive games that require like numbers or function row, or just something to, like quick actions, this keyboard is probably not the keyboard for you. The good thing about it is that, unlike a regular keyboard like the RK100, if you look at the placement of the keys, it looks almost like a chocolate bar, like a Cadbury chocolate bar. This is what you would call your ortholinear style of keyboard. Everything is done in a straight line. So that makes finding keycaps for it a chore, because not everybody is able to sell keycaps like this. So I had to do a little bit of digging, and then I found it in some cheapo store in Shopee. But it does its purpose. And what makes it good is that, for me at least, I don't have to worry about moving or adjusting my fingers. Because with a board like the RK100, I don't know if you're watching from your monitor, think about it like this. When you press on your keys, if you work from the home row, if you're touch typing, if you want to go up one row, you have to go to the left. And if you go to the bottom row, you have to go to the right. So it's staggered row-wise. So if you're not paying attention, you might end up pressing the wrong key with the wrong finger. And not to mention that your hand has to travel very, very far to use the numpad, to use the function row, the numbers, just to press enter. And that was a bad and that's quite uncomfortable. Aside from the space issues, the fact that you have to stretch your arms around in the course of an 8-hour day and then have to reach your mouse afterwards, it's very, very tiring. Some people don't think about it, but after a number of years, it's terrible. It's not going to be good for you. Which is why I decided to get this P42 40% board. Because I realized that with our fingers don't really bend to the left naturally. They go up and down. So by that logic, I can go up and down easily. And then you might ask me, Serjay, what about numbers? What about punctuation? Well, it's all about layers, just like Shrek would say. Ogres have layers. This keyboard has layers. If I press down on this button here, this part here becomes my numpad. 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 0. If I press on this, then all of this becomes punctuation marks. Exclamation point for A, all the way to open and close parentheses here. So that's just a bunch of the things that I can do. And the thing that makes it also good is that you don't have to stretch or move your fingers around. Everything is here. It's just in one small package. So you don't have to move around. The keys come to you. You don't have to go to the keys. So aside from saving up space here, you just have to move around a little bit. The problem is that it's small. It's really small. And I'm a big guy, if you can base it already from my VTuber model. So, because it's so small, I have to hunch over a bit, and you see how unnaturally bent my fingers are? So, after a while, what happened was that I would end up not only bending my fingers, but my wrists as well. So my wrists would also bend like this. Especially with my left wrist, it ached after a while. And even now, if I do it like this for just a few seconds, I can feel a slight ache already. So I can't use this board for very long periods of time. So I decided to put this away, and then I got this other board. So this board now is the Royal Clutch RK61 60% keyboard. These are not the original keycaps. This is something that I bought from DataBlitz. And just to make it a little bit prettier. It's lovely, isn't it? So, when you say 60% board, it uses 60% of the original keys. So if you use a full-size keyboard, you may notice that it has everything that you have from escape all the way to control or function down here at the bottom right. So that makes it a very popular format for gamers or for people who want more space and don't really mind not having arrow keys because they use scroll wheel, for example. And it's also easy because this is pretty much everything that you find in your keyboard. It's just missing the function row, and it also misses the arrow keys on the right and the function and the numpad. So it's very easily customizable. The only problem is that it's not very programmable. So when I say programmable, I'm referring to something like the Pabile P42, because you can customize the format to whatever you want it. You don't even need to follow QWERTY, for example. There are a bunch of other keyboard layouts that people have created over the years because they think that QWERTY is obsolete, it's not as efficient anymore, and it's bad for your fingers in the long run. So they invented things like Colmac, Dvorak, just a bunch of other names, but the point of the matter is that they rearranged the letters and the characters to something that should make it more efficient in the long run and less harmful for your body. That's the beauty of it being programmable. In such a small form factor, you're able to make the keyboard truly your own based on what you need. In a board like this, In a board like this, for example, the only problem is that you can't... Oh, hi, Adora Bunny. Sorry about that if I didn't catch you, but thank you for dropping by to the stream. So, where was I? Ah, yes. So, this board, this RK61, is great. The only problem is that it's not programmable. Every key that you see here does what the name says. Shift is shift, enter is enter, backspace is backspace, and so on and so forth. There are only a few differences, like if you press FN and then you press Windows, Alt, Control, and question mark, they become your arrow keys. So it becomes a bit tricky to memorize all of these things, but pretty much for boards like these, you have to work with what you have. So I wanted to find a good medium between a smaller form factor and something with more programmability. Enter this new board. Just pick it up here. So enter my latest board. This is the Pabile P45 45% keyboard this time. So as you can see, it still doesn't have numbers, it doesn't have a function row, it doesn't have a numpad, but it now has a split spacebar, and it also has arrow keys. Because eventually I realized that I really need arrow keys. It's good to have like your arrow keys programmed to like WASD, like if you're a gamer, but sometimes, having a separate one really works miracles. The only problem with an unusual formatting keyboard like this, as you can see here, is that you have struggles trying to find the keys that could fit in here. So I have Shift, for example, where Enter would be normally, and then let me just unplug this. And then I have Caps Lock down here. And this is where Caps Lock would normally be on a full-size keyboard, but Menu is here, and Tab should be here, for example. And Control, Win, and Alt can still fit, but on the right here is Function. So there's just a whole bunch of things that you have to compromise with. And that's why I had to... For boards like these, that's the funny thing. A smaller board requires a bigger keycap set. Because the bigger keycap sets, like the 150 keycaps or the 190 keycaps, they're probably going to have a keycap that can fit here. But most likely, it's not going to be the ones that match exactly like a full-size keyboard. So there are some compromises there. But I don't really mind it. That's why the reason why precisely we're going to be configuring this board into something that is more usable for me. And just to test, can you hear the sound? I don't know if the microphone is picking up the typing sound though, so let me just try. Let me know if you can hear it in the microphone. Keyboard ASMR. These are Acco Jelly Whites. So I love linear switches. I'm not part of the tactile gang anymore. I tried tactile switches, but I don't really like the feel of it starting and stopping. I just wanted to go straight down. So this is the latest in my keyboard collection. And what we're gonna do now is that we're going to go to Vial, and we're gonna manually configure the keyboard into something that would be a little more suited to my tastes. So let's go ahead and plug this board back in. And we're gonna go ahead and access Vial. Just a second. There we go. By the power of OBS, we now have access to Vial. So Vial is a program that is used for people to be able to configure their mechanical keyboards. So you just have to check if your board is viable, if it actually does exist in the Vial database. And when it does, you'll be able to configure it to do whatever you want. So I can even configure what the dials do on the side of the board. So all of this is here, and I have 5 layers to work with. 5 in total, which counts 0. 0 usually is the layer where you put all your regular letters. So we're going to be starting from here, and then we're going to work our way up to 4. So yeah, Vial or VIAL, and it looks like the Pabile keyboard, P45, is recognized by the database, which is good. That's one less thing for us to worry about, because sometimes you would have to go to the database, and then you would have to program, install stuff. But luckily, right off the bat, we're able to use this board. So we can start with the fixing process. So what we're going to do first is that we're going to empty out this board. Empty out meaning we're going to make everything blank. This way, I have a clean slate, and I can figure out what I can do with each layer. So let's start with this key, all right? And then we're going to go all the way down. Or we can start with, let's just see where this takes us then, okay? So we're going to start with escape. Then the letters Q, W, E, R, T, Y, U, I, O, P. And then, wait, where's this correspond with? Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this part out. Hold on. Is there a button here? Okay, and this is gonna be delete. And then, I don't know what this button does. So we'll just leave it blank for now. We're gonna move on to the next. So, what do you feel about caps lock? Because for me, I personally have no use for caps lock. So I'm gonna make it into tab instead. And then we're gonna do something a bit different here. So normally you would have ASDF and all what you have in the middle row. Recently, when I was using the P42, I learned of something called home row mods. So if you think about it, normally you would have, let me find it here. Shift is here, and then you would have your control, and then your GUI. GUI stands for your Windows key in Windows keyboards, or your command key in Mac. And then your Alt. So, there. Let me just try this. Hold on. Okay, so we're gonna show my keyboards again, the camera. So let's just use, for the sake of example, for me, I have a very bad habit. Let me just focus it here so you can see better. There. So let's just say I want to copy something, an entire block of text. So normally control is here, right? So if I were to touch type, I would have my fingers ASDF here, and then I would move it down here for touch my pinky, and then I would put my ring finger on A. When I'm done with that, I would copy with still keeping my pinky down here, copy, and then paste. CV. So you can see how my left hand is like contorting to all of these different positions. And if you want to, God forbid, use the snipping tool, that's even more difficult, because that one is Windows or GUI key, and then what was that again? Shift here, and then S. It's almost like you're playing a chord on a guitar. Look at how uncomfortable it is. So, I only learned later on that there's a reason why there's 2 Shift keys, 2 Alt keys, 2 Windows keys, 2 Control keys. Because you have to do, if you're going to press your modifiers, it has to be on the opposite side of this one. So for example, Windows key here, Shift key here, and then S. But for the longest time, I just kept doing it with one hand. And because of that, it started to hurt my hand a lot and my wrist. And then I discovered what's called home row mods. So home row mods, as the name implies, relies on using your modifier keys, such as your Shift, your Control, your GUI, or your Windows key into the center, into the home row. So we're going to do that here. Now, the good thing about Vile is that it has layers, and it also has Quantum. So Quantum is the thing that does like the big magic for Vile. So I will demonstrate it here. So, and, wait, what was that? There. Okay, so let's find it. Okay, so we're going to use my personal preference. So that's gonna be... I just need to find it. It's been a while since I used Vile. Ah, here it is. So here, 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 and here. Okay, so if you could see, I'm gonna fix it here. ASDF. So, on this left side of the board here, you'll be able to see that you have ASDF in the same places, but right above it are LGUI, meaning left Windows key, LAlt, left Alt key, LSFT, which is the left Shift key, and LCTL, or left controlled key. So what that means is that if you highlight this part here, it says left. So for F, for example, I will press, if I press it, it will turn out as F. But if I hold it down, it acts as control key. So now, I no longer have to move my fingers all the way to this side here, if I want to like copy and paste. If I want to copy and paste, all I have to do is hold down the F, and then press A very quick, so I can highlight everything, and then press, while still holding down F, I press C to copy, and then V to paste. But the thing is, I'm holding down F with my index finger, I can't really reach V over here. So that's why. So the trick is to do the same on the other side. So let me show you this way. JKL, enter. Yeah. I was expecting to use colon here, but this would probably serve as my enter key in this particular keyboard. So what this means now is that, let's say I want to press paste. So my index finger is occupied here, and I can't reach down to the letter V. So instead, I press J with my right index finger, and then tap V. So it's very fast. And if I want to take a screenshot, all I gotta do is hold down D with my middle finger, hold down A with my index finger, with my pinky finger, and then tap S. So that's the essence of home row mods. All of your modifiers are here. The only problem is you have to be a bit more careful if you type, because if you're not, then chances are you might end up activating Windows, you might activate Control when you just meant to press A and F. So it takes a bit of practice, but after a while, you'll get used to it. So we're done with that. Let's just go to the keys that are a bit easier to remember. So left, right. Then this is going to be B and M. This one. The only problem that the thing that I don't like about this board is that my question mark and / is separated by the arrow key. I certainly can put up here and then question mark here, but it's kind of awkward. So just to make it a bit easier to remember, I'll just do it like this. And now, here's the bit of a tricky part. So, this one is going to be my backspace, and this one is going to be my space, and this other thing. I don't know what to put in here yet, but I'll figure it out. So, now we have layers. So how we're going to access this layer depends on the keys that we press. So, if I don't put anything here, I'll just be stuck on layer 0. So what I'm going to do instead is that I go to the Layers tab of File. It's a bit partially covered, but here's the Layers tab. And what I can do is that I can select a specific way for me to access a layer. Sometimes, all you need to do is just press down on a button, and then it will bring you to layer 1. Press another button, and it will bring you to layer 2. That's okay. The only problem is that it kind of makes it hard for you to remember which layer you're on unless you have like a specific indicator. So what I do is that I'm going to make it so that if I hold down a key, then it's going to be the same as the home row mods. I'm going to hold it down like this, and this one, so here. So this will be my backspace, and this will be my space. So what happens now is that if I tap on this key, I'll get backspace. But if I hold it down, I'll access layer 1. And if for this key, if I tap it, I'll get spacebar. But if I hold it down on it, I get layer 2. And if I choose to, I can put layer 3 here, layer 4, or whatever, and then I can access the other layers that we have here. So there. That's pretty much a basic look at the kinds of things we're going to be doing with this keyboard here. We're going to be going through it a bit. We're going to be going through it probably in the background. What I mean by that is that I'll just be figuring out what the best layout would be. It's probably going to change because I know I don't want to have like 2 versions of Shift or GUI, Control, Alt when I already have home row mods. So that's the beauty of it. It can change to whatever I want. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and talk about a bunch of things here and there, and then while I go sort this out in the background. So I hope that you enjoy. I did want to ask though, since we're all here, let me make a quick poll. Let me turn this other keyboard on because it's I still need to configure this one out. What thumb do you use to press your space bar? So it's either going to be your left thumb or your right. Personally, I make it so I always press the space bar with my right thumb. It's really more comfortable that way. I can't handle pressing it on my left, though. So, yeah. That's the reason why I have it there on the right key that you see there. It's so much easier for me. I tried once putting it on the left, but I could not handle it. I guess the muscle memory is way too strong in this one. So, yeah. But let me know what you think over there. And you might be thinking, Serjay, this is really like a lot of effort for just to learn a new keyboard, which is true. This is not everybody's cup of tea. I am aware. But if you feel like it, if you want to give it a try, why not? And of course, if you have money to spare. This ain't something that you could just go into lightly, of course. I think this is the one that you do if you press down on the dial, because that's possible. You could do that. So what we're gonna do, we're in the media control. Now, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna try the mute key, and then if you see here, it says down and then up. So it's gonna be turning the dial to the left, or counterclockwise, and then clockwise. Hello, Ren. Good morning. Thank you very much for dropping by. Good to see you. Good to see you. So I'll probably make this volume down and then volume up. So yeah, this is where we are. I really don't know what to put on this key here. But for now, we'll just make it into menu key for now. So that I'll decide eventually what we want to do with this one. How is work, by the way? How are you doing? And also you, Adora Bunny. If you're still here, I just wanted to check what you're planning, how your morning is, because it's actually 7:30 in the morning here in the Philippines. Salutations, Serjavians, and good morning, Philippines! Beep, 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 beep. I wish I could put an air horn sound effect, but I know it's too distracting, so I might as well do it myself. Saves money that way, and it's a lot easier for post editing if I choose to put this stream in post. So yeah, I think we're done here. And just to recap, I do like my home row mods. So home row mods are here so that it'll be a lot easier. You don't have to stretch your fingers to reach Shift, Control, Windows, and Alt anymore. You can just put it here on your home row if you touch type. So if you want to copy something, just press J or hold down J with your right index finger, and then press C with your left middle finger. So that's a whole lot easier in my opinion. The only problem is that you have to be a bit more careful with your typing, because if you hold it down just a second, then you'll end up activating something that you didn't want to. Sorry, I just needed to put on my hat. Feel a bit dizzy all of a sudden. I don't know why. I guess it's the weather, you know? I used to joke with Milas, my best friend, that I don't need to listen to the weatherman. I just need to know if I feel a headache, I can tell that it's gonna rain. I don't know if it will rain immediately, but I know it will rain eventually. So it's raining here in your place as well, Ren. Well, you see, I told you, I can predict the weather. I know it's gonna rain, even halfway across the country. Woo! Alright. So yeah, you don't have to listen to the news anymore. Just listen to old Serjay Svek, and his head will tell you that it's gonna rain. It's kind of like in old cartoons where people will say, oh, I can feel it in my elbow. If my elbow aches, then that means that it's gonna rain. Oh, I think in the news it said there's like a typhoon. I guess I just wasn't paying attention. So, I'm sorry about that, but yeah. Everybody who's watching, please make sure that you stay safe. So now, we're at layer number 1. So we're gonna be deleting everything here. We're gonna make it blank so we can start over with a new coat. So what I usually do in layer 1 is that I'm going to make this into my numpad. So I also wanted to ask, what thumb do you use to press your spacebar? For me, I've always used my right thumb. And if you are interested, go ahead and click on the poll on the Twitch chat and let me know what you think. And we're going to be moving on to another poll in a few minutes. For now, let's go move on to this. So, if this is correct... wait, I'm just trying to match it here. There. Okay, this is where it is. Okay, so this would be 7, 8, 9... Excuse me, let me recap that. Oh yeah, this is better. So this will be 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and this would be 0. So we've got a more numpad style of number right here. And if I want to use number row, same thing. But I've grown to prefer numpad more than number row recently. I guess it's just a lot easier to have all your numbers available in one part of the screen. So that's gonna be my next poll question, actually. So for those of you who answered, thank you very much. We have 2 people who actually use their left thumb on the spacebar. Very interesting. I thought for right-handed people, they were more likely to click on the right thumb. So that's very interesting. So we'll end the poll here. It should be over. Hold on. End poll. Thank you. Now we're going to move on to the new question. So, which do you prefer to type numbers on the keyboard? So it's going to be number row or numpad. There we go. So for me, I'm gonna cast my vote. I'm the numpad guy. So let's see who else is in numpad with me or number row. This is the new Splatfest. Okay, so while the voting is going on, I'm gonna try this one. So here, I'm gonna put my math symbols here, just like in the numpad. So this one is gonna be divide. This is going to be multiply, minus, and plus. And then, where did I put this again? I'll have to think about it. So this should be... Because I also had like a place to put my equals. So this should probably be equal. Yeah, the beauty of having split keyboards or small factor keyboards, usually they have split key space bars, because your thumbs are really strong, you know. But the problem is they're usually just delegated to the space bar, and it's just a waste. You have to use your pinkies to reach to enter or escape or shift, and your pinkies are so weak naturally. Why don't we use more of our thumbs? So we should, I think that we should have more split spacebar keyboards. My old ortholinear keyboard, it's just one key, like this. The spacebar is just one key, but I never missed. So I guess it's just with practice that people will be able to get used to it. So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna put in some other keys that I think are important, especially for Excel. Now, we're gonna put here. Wait, let me just make sure I have it right here. So equals is down here. I definitely need... Where is it? Colon. Colon is very important because part of my work is that I use Excel, and then I usually enter time. So I usually need to enter time, like when people are coming in or clocking out or stuff like that. So having colon around is a big lifesaver, trust me. And then you have probably going to put in comma and then period. And maybe quotation marks as well, because that's really something important in Excel as well. Where was quotation marks though? Huh. probably have to find that later. But yeah, the point... Excuse me. The point is that this is pretty much a work in progress, so we'll just have to wing it as we go along. And this is a brand new format. And again, you can do stuff like making it up, down, left, right, down, left, right. Or, if you want to, you can make this into page up, page down, and this is home, and this is end. And that's the beauty of the programmability of a keyboard. You don't have to follow a format. It can be whatever you want it to be. So for now, I'm going to make it stick to up, left, down, right, because I need that for my Excel. Trust me, moving between cells is such a pain if you don't have it, that ability. So there's that, and then, you know, I'm not feeling number row right now because I don't really use it that much. I prefer numpad for real. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to empty this out, and then I'm going to replace it with these. So I'm going to put parenthesis here. Excuse me. Parenthesis. And then you also have brackets. Where is the bracket? Ah, here. Brackets. And then you can also put the braces or the curly brackets. And then you also have your angle brackets, whatever you call them. Sometimes I forget the names. But these are the types of things that you can do. So if I want to, I can go ahead and just to make it uniform, I can... Okay, let me just fix that. So I can make it look like this, and this, and this. I don't really use these so much, so I put them down here. Instead, I have the two I more frequently use, the straight brackets and the parentheses up here. So it's a lot easier to reach. So that's that for now. We can definitely go back to this later. So again, if I go back to layer 0, if I tap on this key, I'm gonna get backspace. But if I hold down on it, I'll get layer 1. So there, that's gonna be my numbers. So we'll move on to layer 2. Now, where we are right now, so far we only have one person who voted. And that person voted for numpad, and that person is me. So, we'll leave it at that for now. And we're gonna go ahead and continue from this row number 2. By the way, Ren, since you mentioned that there is a storm coming, I hope you and your family are staying safe. I don't really feel anything right now on my part of the country, but it's really, but I'm feeling dizzier now. And usually, if I feel dizzy, that's a sign that the rain is coming. So here, in layer number 2, normally what I would do is that I would put my punctuation here as well. So this part here, okay. So we're gonna go back to the quantum tab, and then we're going to click on this thing, L shift. We're good, but yeah, I hate the rain. I also get sick from it. That's very understandable, old friend. Yeah, I really hope that you don't get sick, because getting sick, especially at this time, it's a nightmare. I should know. I'm a survivor of COVID. And COVID's no joke. So make sure that you get your shots. Okay, let's see if this works. So what happens here is that I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, that fits. So what this means here is that instead, if I press this button here, it's not going to be 1. No. What happens is that it'll automatically, since LSFT here, or left shift is here automatically, that means it automatically combines. So instead of 1 appearing when I press this key, it'll be exclamation point. Because normally if you want to get exclamation point, you have to press shift and number 1. So if I do the same all the way here, I'll get exclamation point all the way to parentheses. So we're going to repeat that on the top row as well. There's a lot to consider, a lot to think about, and but again, that's part of the fun of this project, you know? Being able to decide for yourself what kind of keyboard that you want, what format you want to follow. It's not everybody's cup of tea, again, I'm aware, but you know, being able to decide, I think there's power in that. So yeah. Okay, I don't think the headaches are really coming from the gym, definitely. I believe that I'm improving with the gym. Your boy has been to the gym for about a week now, and I've already lost 2 kilograms. So from 100 kilograms, I'm now at 100.8 kilograms. I'm now at 98.9. When I weighed last night. So I believe I should go treat myself to a buffet. No, I should not do that. Not good, Serjay, not good. So the tricky part here is deciding like which ones I should put. So what I'll do, I'm gonna go reference some old pictures, some old formats that I used for so it's just a matter of copying and pasting. So hold on, let me follow this. Okay. I'm not going to be going to the gym today because it's my day off. One thing that I've come to learn is that you need to have your rest. So that's you really need to have your rest days, otherwise the rest days will come for you. Well, if you're really going to a buffet, you can still enjoy as long as you know what you're eating or have a strategy, that is. Well, the thing about buffets is that they're really, really enjoyable, but the problem is that you can usually go a bit too overboard with them. When I was a young lad, when I was much younger, I could definitely clear out like 5 plates in Vikings, no problem at all. Now, I shouldn't. But even if I could, I don't. Sometimes I can't even go through 3 plates, actually. And my strategy whenever I go to the buffet is that I would always start with the bread and cheese first. I know you're not supposed to go to carbs. Everybody tells me, Serjay, stop getting bread, stop getting crackers. But I keep telling them, then how am I supposed to eat the cheese? The cheese is the important part. Get the cheese. So yeah, cheese is life. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So I get my cheese, and then after that plate is done, I move on to, what's the next part again? I move on to the meat. And usually in those buffet restaurants, you would get how shall I say? You get a carving station, and boy oh boy, that is pretty bountiful right there. So you'll be able to get a lot of stuff. But, you know, as part of self-control, I try not to eat too much in there anymore. And then the last one, my third plate, is my desserts. Oh dear. Okay, so this is what I have here. This is from previous boards. So if, for example, if I press these two, I would get open and close straight brackets. And if I press these two keys, I automatically get the curly brackets or braces. And if I press this, I get equal sign. And if I just press this, I automatically get plus sign, because it's already shifted up automatically here. So again, that's the beauty of this type of thing. You get to decide what you want to do, what you want to put. Now, my problem is that wait a second. I'm trying to think here. We'll go on an ad break first. It's a 3-minute ad break. So we'll go ahead and do that right now, and I'll talk to you in a bit because I lost track of time. So just sit tight, and we'll go ahead and take a quick ad break, and I'll be right back, okay? Apologies for the late info. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the stream. Apologies again for the sudden ad break, but I appreciate everybody who chose to stay. Thanks again. So, also, where are my manners? I know this is actually a Twitch thing to do, so I would like to shout out the people who are here. And shout out to Adora Bunny, and of course, as always, shout out to you, Ren. Oh, I have to wait a minute. Whoopsie! Yeah, there's just so many things that I still need to learn about Twitch and all, so I'm thankful for being given the opportunity for it, really. So, okay, we'll move on to the next part. Alright, now we're stuck in this part here. I just realized that I do not have semicolon here at all. So we're in trouble. How would I solve this? I suppose I could just put semicolon here, but I don't have enter key here anymore. So for now, as much as I don't like it, I'll have to put enter key here. Unless... oh, I can hit the enter key down here with my thumb, with my right thumb as well. I did say that that it's a good idea to actually use our thumbs, so we might as well put the enter key down here. It's gonna be our impromptu thumb key. So we'll go ahead and try this one. Let's see if I can actually type the shout out message. Space, Ren Connect, enter. Oh, come on! It was correct, but I can only use it once in a while. So, Ren, I apologize for the shout out. It's going to be a bit delayed. Okay, anyway, let's get back to business here. I better make use. That's the only reason why I'm streaming today is because I just remembered that I don't have any gym today. So we are safe. I don't have to worry about being in trouble because I am free. So since up and down, up here on the up key is taken by this. So what I plan to do instead is I'm going to try something different. So I'm planning to make this home and end. And then this one here is going to be page up and page down. So again, you don't have to keep every key the same in every layer. It can be different, and that's the beauty of it. So this one doesn't even need to be, for example, volume down and volume up anymore. If I want to, I can make this into brightness and bright up, for example. So there's a whole bunch of things that you could do, and it's scary in some ways, but it's amazing in others because it really gets to test your creativity in such a small space. So this is where we are. We can go ahead and do that. So we'll not try to dwell on it because I know I'll be making a lot more tweaking after this, and I don't want to stay give a 5-hour stream on just this. It's going to be super boring. So we'll move on to the next one. So we'll try this one. So just very, very quickly, I'm planning to make this into my function area and then my media control. So I'll be able to use this to control my volumes and everything like that. I don't have a layer 3 key yet, but we'll probably figure it out on the way. Maybe this could be layer 3. So again, what I'm gonna click is this one, LT3, and then enter. So what happens here is that if I tap down on this key, I get enter normally. But if I hold down on this key, I'll be able to access layer 3. And we still have a whole unused layer here that I'll probably get back to eventually. Maybe for macros, or I can have a gaming layer for this. I'll just replicate QWERTY all the way here, and then tab and everything just to make it easier, so that I don't have to worry about the home row mods interfering with this. Maybe that's probably gonna work. But just very quickly, I'll show you what I plan to do with this. So for this one, I'm gonna make it F1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then F9, 10, 11, and 12. So it's just gonna be like that. And then I'm going to put some media controls here. So just for example, we have For example, if I want to open the mail, I can open mail here. Then there's calculator, media player, and my PC or my computer. So if I press this button, I'll be able to open my mail application. And then this one will automatically open the calculator. This one will open iTunes, which I still think is the better music player for Windows. Even for Windows, because I don't like Windows Media Player for some reason. It just doesn't work for me. I don't like Windows. And this one is, if I press this key, I'll open the Windows Explorer. Arushihara, thank you very much for dropping by. Good morning to you. So yeah, if you're, just to let you know what's happening here, I'm actually just configuring this new keyboard that I got. Let me show it to here. So this is my new keyboard, the Pabile P45, 45% keyboard. So I'm trying to figure out which buttons do what, because I'm moving on from this board here, which is the Royal Clutch RK61. You can't program this. So every key that you see here does exactly what happens. So the thing is, even though this does not have a number row, this does not have a function row, but I can make it so that it will have a number row or function row, depending on what keys to press. So that's a summary of today's stream. Just don't mind the cable management, okay? I'm sorry. It's a bit messy, I'm sorry. But I hope you bear with me, because you won't be able to see it for much longer. We're back in file. Okay, so yep, how are you today, Oshihara? I dropped by your stream, or I think it was last night, and it was a pretty good to have you there, and I hope that you had a good rest and you are refreshed for the new day. Oh yeah, and you dropped by my stream the other day when I did Alien Isolation. I am so sorry that your very first taste of my channel was me screaming my head off. But there's that. That's just how it is. So again, we're going back to the media controls. So for this one, I can go press mute. And then I also had media previous, media next. So yeah, if I'm in iTunes, for example, I can press mute here. I can press play a previous track or next track. Music is important for me. I'm actually playing Spotify, but the secret is, I don't like Spotify. I don't like Spotify at all. You know why? Because not all of them have the music that I like. And most of the time, the music that I like to listen to is video game music. Specifically, fighting game music. Yes, I grew up listening to Street Fighter music and King of Fighters, Guilty Gear all my life. It's only now that I'm older that I actually tried listening to real person music. So it's been a while. So I can actually have what I call quote-unquote a socially acceptable music playlist. Because whenever I play my music and people listen to the video game music, they're like, what is that, Serjay? That's just, you know, so geeky, so nerdy. So I just move them to the socially acceptable playlist, which is like music that people would like. But the thing is, I don't go for, like, if you are looking for the music that you play on the radio right now, I don't play that. I don't have that on my playlists. If you want that kind of music, you might as well just listen to the radio. I go for lo-fi or rap, 90s rap, like Tupac or Notorious B.I.G., the best, or Nas. Nas is good. If you want to have a rapper that talks about social issues and does not curse a lot, or barely curses actually, go for Nas, N-A-S. Or my original rap inspiration that led me to the others is Lupe Fiasco. And the funny thing about Lupe Fiasco is that I only heard about Lupe Fiasco when his music was featured in an ad for Street Fighter V. So, the video game music brought me back to rap. Lil Nas? No, it's not Lil Nas X. It's just N-A-S, Nas. I guess you could say he's Big Nas, or the original Nas. So yeah, if you want to listen to Nas, I recommend songs like Rule the World, and what was that one? Yeah, we'll start with Rule. That's a good song. And then I Know I Can Be What I Wanna Be what I wanna be. If I work hard at it, I'm gonna get DMCA, so I'm not gonna sing anymore. So yeah, Nas is good. Tupac is another one of my favorites. Tupac Shakur. And Notorious B.I.G. Definitely. I love it when you got me Big Papa. Put your hands in the air if you're a true player. There we go. And if I want to experiment with this part, for example, I can actually make this into mouse control. So mouse up, excuse me. Alright, and down there. Okay, and then we have mouse left, mouse down, mouse right. So that way, if, for example, I have no access to my mouse for some reason, like it's broken, or I'm using a laptop at someone's home and they don't have a mouse of their own, I can scroll up and down, left and right using this. And if I want to, I can also, I can move the mouse up, down, left, and right. And if I want to scroll up and down, let's say I'm reading the internet, like another page for TV tropes, I just press mouse wheel up and mouse wheel down. So that way, just press that down, up, down. I just go down my Twitter, press this key, go down my Twitter and see what's the latest happening on VTuber Twitter. And then if I want to go back up, because I don't want to go back into Twitter hell, I go press this key, back up. And speaking of music, this is a shameless plug for mine, but my friends and I actually were part of a band before. We were not professional, by the way. We're just, we were just releasing songs that we liked, and we're not good. Okay, that's what I'm just saying. We're not good by any means, but we released a bunch of songs on our own, and I don't know why the command for Stream Elements is not working, but I want to share this list. So just a second. You know, when you're younger and then you just fool around with your friends. One summer in college, that's what we did. We went to my friend's house and then we recorded some songs, and that took the entire summer. So that's the playlist that we use. So shameless plug. There we go. And there we go. So if anybody feels like dropping by, feel free to do so. And if there's a song that sounds very silly, that's most likely the one that was written by me and sung by me. If it's a bit more serious, like a ballad, that's most likely the one written and sung by Miles. So yeah, we're done. I'm pretty drained and tired right now, so I can't really think of much to put in here. But this is pretty much a basic setup of what we could do. So, again, this is going to be my regular keyboard. And we have layer 1 for your number row, my numpad, because I don't like number row anymore. I found that numpad is a lot easier to use. So if I press this key, or if I hold down this key, I will gain access to this layer, and I'll be able to use the number pad immediately. And if I want to do my math, there's my symbols: divide, multiplies, minus, and plus. And if I'm in Excel, I can use the brackets, the parentheses, and a whole bunch of stuff that I need to be able to do my Excel work. Because Excel is a big monster. You need to be prepared for Excel, trust me. And then this one is all of my punctuation, because I like to write in my spare time. So all of my punctuation stuff is here. Oh, okay, sure. Go ahead and lurk. No problem for that, Urushihara. Check your water supply. Stay safe. Hope that you'll be able to get water soon. That's just nasty, having to deal with that. I hope everything will be okay. You know, that reminds me, not too long ago, there was also a time that we had no supply of water in my place. And holy cow, that lasted for like a couple of weeks. And I cannot imagine what it's like in other communities, where they have to go to the local pump and they would have to pump water every single day, carry 5-gallon or buckets. And we had to do it, and we were lucky that we had a fire truck to be able to deliver us the water. And we would just have to fill our buckets. But for those people who have to line up every single day, that's torture. So I'm pretty lucky where I am, and I hope for you, Urushihara, that you'll be able to get that water that you need very soon. But again, appreciate you, and you can go ahead and lurk, no problem at all. And you know what? Where are my manners again? S.O. Urushihara. Yeah. By the way, Shushis, thank you very much for dropping by. Good morning, good morning. Salutations, Serjavians, to you. And, yep, we're just fixing up my keyboard here just to make it a bit more usable, because again, this is a 45% keyboard. That means no number row, no function row, no numpad, missing a lot of keys. So what I'm doing is configuring the layers, so when I press buttons, I'll be able to access those layers and then do that sort of stuff, you know? So yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea, because for a number of people, understandably, they would like to be able to just press a key and it does what it wants, what you want them to do. But for me, I guess I'm a bit of a masochist. I like to challenge myself. So I want to be able to press this key here. This would be my backspace key, but if I hold down this key, I will get my number pad. And if I press down this key, which is my space, I will get my punctuation. And if I press down this key, I get enter, but if I hold it down, I get my F keys and my media controls. So yeah, it's a process. It's a lot to think about. Not everybody's gonna like it, but my goal is to try to lessen the movement of my hands, because look at how much space I am saving here. If you compare it to this big thing, the Royal Clutch RK100, look at how much space it's taking up. And if I'm writing, normally I just stick to the left side of the board. people don't really think about it, but if you type an essay, normally you just stick to the left side of the board. You don't really use the right side where your numpad is, unless you need it for math. But if you're typing and then you go to Excel, then you go here, but if you want to move your mouse, you see how much movement your right hand has to do in order to do that? So it gets very difficult, especially if you're a gamer. Some professional gamers, what they do, I've seen this, is that if they have a keyboard like this, they would tilt the keyboard so that they can get to their WASD faster, and they get more room for their mouse. So if they're playing Apex or Valorant, they have more room to move their mouse and make their shots. But this is kind of awkward, so that's why I tend to use smaller keyboards like the 60%er. So I don't have arrow keys, I don't have a function row, but it does resemble a regular keyboard. And this 45%er. And look at how much space I'm saving. There's that. Okay, so that's where we are. And again, I'm sorry, don't mind the cable management. I know I'm going to hell to some people. Cable management is vital for those people. I'm gonna go to hell for this. But yeah, I have no idea what to put in this final row. But what I'm thinking is that I'm just gonna make it into like a gamer row. What I mean is that I'm just gonna duplicate the usual QWERTY row. So escape is here, tab is here, shift is here. I hate caps lock. Don't go near me about caps lock. Space would be here and stuff. The reason why I would like a separate row for gaming, if I want to, is because if I have this one here, what happens is that if I press A, I get this one here, I get the letter A. But if I hold it down, I get GUI. GUI is the generic term for the Windows key in Windows or the command key for Mac. So these are what you call your home row mods. So the reason why is because that way I don't have to twist my fingers around and stretch my pinky just so I can press down Control here on the left and then X. So if I want to copy cut, copy, and paste. And see how far it is. If you look at your keyboard right now, Control is down here, and if you reach with your index finger, you have to reach V. It's a very far distance. So why not just bring everything here? So if I want to copy something, I just press this J, or hold down J with my index finger, and then press C. If I want to take a screenshot, I just hold down D for Shift, hold down A for Windows, and then tap S, and then I get an instant screenshot. If you want to press Control Alt Delete, let's say you're locking your computer at work, then just hold down F, hold down S, and then tap Delete key, and then you're done. So that's the beauty of having a keyboard like this that's programmable. You decide what the keyboard will do. It may be small, but that means that the keys come to you. You do not come to the keys. You don't have to chase. You don't have to chase after what you want anymore. It comes to you. So there's that. So for this one, I don't really know what to do. So just for now, just filling in the blanks. Just gonna put this here. Maybe I'll put enter here. So that if I access this layer, I'll be able to play games. I probably won't be able to play Genshin Impact here though, because I don't have a number row, and number row is important to be able to switch between characters. But maybe I can go put the number row here on the right. So let's just say, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. And then maybe function row would be here as well. So probably I'm ready for Genshin Impact now. I downloaded it again. The reason why I stopped playing Genshin Impact was because the later updates took so much space on my laptop. Genshin, MiHoYo, Hoyoverse, why are you not putting it on Switch? We only had one trailer for it on the Switch. Why is it not yet available? It's already on PS4. What's taking so long? Not to mention the fact that the reason why I stopped is because I spent so much money on gacha. Please, keep me away from the gacha. Gacha bad. So there's that. And again, and I'll probably put like arrow keys here as well. Almost close to quitting. Why are you almost close to quitting, Shushi? For me, I quit. Again, I quit because, honestly, the game is pretty boring. I'll say this. The story is very boring because it's locked behind levels, and it's mostly just talking to this person and that person, and not much else. And a lot of people seem to agree too, that the story is pretty boring. But the reason why I like to go to Genshin is because, well, I just like to wander around. It's mostly just exploring. I treat Genshin more like Explorer Simulator. So when I ran out of places to explore before Inazuma opened up, I got bored. So I got stuck in Liyue. But now that Inazuma is available, I could probably go there next. And then Sumeru now. Genshin burnout, I understand. That's pretty understandable. Oh, Akiato, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it very much. Once again, thanks so much. Let me... Inazuma is okay, but bad the end. Yes, Keeb, that's true. Yeah, we're trying to fix my keyboard. Trying to fix my keyboard so I can actually give it something to work with, you know? Because it's a 40%er, I don't have numbers, I don't have function row, so I'm missing a lot of keys. But again, the beauty of it is, just like Shrek, it has layers. Milas, yes, I am still talking. There's no stopping this talking train right here. So yeah. Yeah, I pretty much am done with this. I kind of ran out of ideas on what to put on the layers. So just for those of you who are visiting right now, we do have layer 0, which is where your regular keys are, so 40. As you can see here, I have my backspace here, my space, and my enter. My arrow keys are here. And if I press backspace, I will get backspace. But if I hold down this key, I will access layer 1. And layer 1 is where I have my numpad here, and then my math functions, and then my brackets, parentheses, and all that stuff. And if I go to this key here, which is space normally, if I hold down, I will access layer 2, which is where all my punctuation is. And if this one is my enter key, so if I hold down on this, I will get 3, and this is where my functions are, F keys, and my media controls. And then this one is probably going to be my gaming layer, so I could probably play Genshin. Or Sifu, because definitely when November comes, I'm going to be playing Sifu on the Nintendo Switch. Count on it. We haven't gotten to the true ending yet. Yeah. So that's where we are. So how is everybody talking? How is everybody doing today on this morning? Ren told me that there's a storm incoming, and I haven't been paying attention to the news. So everybody, please make sure that you all stay safe. Okay, because it's one wild ride. Of course you can redeem some Svek coins. Why not? At the chat, by the way, you do have your Svek coins at the very bottom of the chat, so you can use it to redeem some stuff. And while we're here, by the way, Shushi, since you're playing Genshin, oh god. Okay, hold on. I need to. Where's my phone? I need to get my timer. All right. Okay then. Let me get my timer here. I set myself up for this. 5 minutes. My wuss. I hate you so much. Whoa. Why did I put that whoa there? Right there? Talk in an voice for 5 minutes. Rewin. Thank you so much to Gui Akiato. That's very nice of you. I hate this so much. But yeah, I am done. I am done with this keyboard right now. And maybe we go try something else. I hate it. I hate you so much, my lures. Spamming my laughing emojis. So, I'll make it my lower voice. So sushi, how is sumewu? Uwu. It's a go away, wait, morning, but not for me. I want to play Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact. But dang. Ooh. But I might have trouble speaking. Playing in Genshin Impact, I might spend so much money. I'm going to remove this reward, this redeem someday. Oh my gosh, I hope that you are really getting entertained, my wuss, because when I find you next time, I'm going to strangle you. Breathe first, breathe. Okay. By the way, thank you so much for this new model. It's a lot better when it comes to speaking, because I can speak in OO and it doesn't sound like I'm speaking at Mach speed very much. Woo. I hope one day I'll be able to get even more models right now, and we're going. Are you serious? People at home asking, "Are you watching a baby stream?" No, it's a grown adult talking right now. You just tell them to follow Serjay Svek on Twitch, and then maybe we can find a way to get rid of this torture. Oh, I hate this so much. Wow. Wee. Oh, why? Oh, thank you very much. I get to stretchy my little armies. Ooh. Why do I do this to myself? All for the fans. Oh, all for my fellow Serjayians. Now, what? Why are you doing? How is your morning right now? Aside from listening to a baby scream. Okay, so we're going to be doing this right in a bit, but don't worry. I'm going to keep doing the OO until the very end. We only have 45 seconds left, so if you want to, you go ahead. What is your family thinking right now? Good lord. The good thing is that my family doesn't watch Twitch. Probably they're gonna kill me when this VOD gets uploaded to YouTube in the next 24 hours. Ooh. Okay, so woo, that's gonna be pretty much it right now. Whoa! Oh, what happened is that I had to speak in Owo language for 5 minutes, Sushi. But it's not gonna be, it's gonna be done. Woo! Okay. Alright, I can now talk like normal. I hate you so much, Wireless. You're not gonna be saved the next time I run into you. But I'm gonna play nice because of my commissions. Well, anyway, thanks very much for that. And I was actually asking Shushi, since you mentioned Genshin Impact, can I access Inazuma even before I haven't finished the prologue where I'm still in Mondstadt? Yeah, because I want to try it. I want to try going to Inazuma. Like I said, the thing about open world games like Breath of the Wild and Genshin Impact is that you have a tendency to get lost. And I love getting lost. Oh, I can't. Aw, man. I got to do the story, I guess. But what about Sumeru, though? Can I go to Sumeru? Because the funny thing is that I ended up in Liyue even when I didn't even realize it. I was just climbing Dragonspine Mountain, and then I decided to go down the other side, and all of a sudden, I was in Liyue. It's like, wait a second, the battle music in this area looks really different. And why does everything look more Chinese? And then I just kept going down the path, and it's like, oh wait, that's Liyue. I ended up in the other country. Like, whoops, that's very far away from Mondstadt. So yeah, again, that's one of the problems, but one of the good things as well about open world games. You can get lost wherever you want. And I think that's part of the magic too. You never know where you're going to end up, but the problem is you're going to get lost with the story mode. Yeah, so that's the problem, huh? Inazuma isn't connected to the main continent, it's blocked off by a thunderstorm. Yeah, that's a story-related thing, so we don't really need to go too deep into that. But yeah, I'll probably have to clear the story for me to be able to actually go there. But the funny thing is, I was already at the lower left corner of the map where the boats are. The Crook's crew, Beido's crew. So I actually reached there, but I didn't know that there was a whole continent on the lower right. But anyway, that's pretty much where we are when it comes to Genshin. But maybe one of these days I'll stream it too. And thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Sumeru. I'm gonna get lost there. But there's that. So yeah, I think we're going to leave it here because we pretty much covered what I could with the keyboard. And I also don't want to stream too late because I have to go in too early at work later. You know how it is. I've got duties that I need to perform. So let's go back to where we were. You mad lad, Milas. You actually clipped the whole thing. Goodness gracious. When you go to Sumeru, you will just say Mondstadt who. Thank you very much for the distraction, Shushi. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up here. So once again, thanks everybody for dropping by. I know this was a guerrilla stream, but I just wanted to get this stuff out of my system. I normally don't do streams like this anymore because I want to focus on gaming, but I also want to give a try to explore, explore places and do the real life content that I used to love doing. So that's something that I think will be nice for once in a while, especially because definitely I'm gonna be maybe one of these days I can also do stuff again like streaming what's this? Streaming myself eating MREs and stuff like that, who knows? So there's that. But again, that's probably gonna be for another time. We don't have to worry about that right now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna be rating, since you mentioned Genshin Impact, we're gonna be rating Li 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 Xia. right now. She is actually playing Genshin Impact right now as well, so we're gonna go drop on by and say hello. So be nice and go ahead and do that. And I want you to try this. Copy and paste the message that I just put in here. The citizens of the Serjavian nation send their regards. So we'll go ahead and do that, and I want to thank you everybody for dropping by, and I hope that with this stream we were able to bring a little more color to your day. My name is Kevin, also known as Serjay Svek. You take care, and always stay safe. Bye now!